meteorologist Chase Jones.
Well, as the afternoon and evening rolled around, we locked our eyes on the horizon for hopefully some of this dust making its way in, but some of that low cloud cover finally forming with some of that humidity, and it's just looking too dry now. Some of the strong southerly winds still keeping us warm after we made a good run at that record about a degree offset back in 1908 at 94 degrees, 93 today, and we can see we've only dropped about 12 degrees in the last couple hours. So southerly winds going to level us out somewhere in those 50s, but by tomorrow those winds turning out of the north, and that wind chill is only going to get us up into those 70s. 81 in San Angelo, still everyone in a combination of those upper to lower 70s across the entire Concho Valley. 77 in Sterling City, 78 down there in Junction, 4 degrees across the entire region if you want to count the 81 here in San Angelo, but everybody pretty close together, usually with some of that cloud cover and those humidity values. This is where it should reflect in. That's exactly what we're seeing. Dew points are way up there in those 40s, while humidities have pushed up into those 20s and those 30s. That's pretty humid considering we've only seen the single digits for the past couple weeks. Now it's on its way out already with some of those high winds making their way in from the north by tomorrow. We're on the lookout for some of that dust, but I think we might actually be out. I haven't seen any dust storm alerts other than parts of Big Bend, the West Texas, and sort of the New Mexico region, but we have our eye on the instability by Friday before things finally calm down. Now the high pressure is keeping a lot of these low pressure systems primarily to the northern part of the nation. You see these shortwave troughs pushing their way through, that high pressure really firing back, but as we make our way closer towards the last week of March, look at that high pressure formation getting ever so closer towards summer. While we look off the west coast, look how deep that long wave trough gets. Looking like some severe weather is going to make its way in, but it's going to primarily hang off towards the east. Now the water vapor imagery is showing you how the system pushing over us right now is trying to work in tandem with that snowstorm, and it's pulling it off towards the east. That's where we're going to see some of those high winds make their way in by tomorrow. But off the west coast, the next atmospheric river is already setting up where they're going to see more rounds of snow. Now severe weather outlook has shrunk a little bit into parts of Nebraska and Iowa. We take you down to the surface, and that's exactly where our storm is starting to really fire up as it sort of collides along Tornado Alley with that dry, humid air. Well, dry air. Then off towards the west, we're looking at more moisture make its way in off the west coast. You can already sort of see those alerts. Now, we're going to fast forward this storm. We're keeping our eye on the cold air that's going to make its way down from the north, but off the west coast, here comes another round of snow. That could be more cold weather, but it's looking like we're going to hover around those 80s after we warm up by tomorrow, so that high pressure going strong. So here are the winds out of the north by tonight. If not tomorrow, then we're going to see more of that cold weather continue to push its way in. Things calm down by Thursday, so it's going to shape up for a pretty nice day for the first day of spring, but they're on their way back, those winds. So tonight down into those 50s, and we're waiting for those winds. If not, they're already going. Then tomorrow, cold air is going to keep us only in those 70s, then down near those freezing levels as we make our warm-up. So one more freezing day, and then we're on the warm-up. Hopefully it just kills all the allergens. As we get closer towards the weekend, the winds pick back up and we level out in those 80s, strong prefrontal warming. And then I think that's where we're going to hang out as those winds die down, with those overnight lows going from those freezing levels all the way up into those 60s. Stay tuned. I'm up with the break. You're watching KSAN News at 10.